One of the most alarming truths about the supplement industry is how little regulation it operates under, especially when compared to prescription drugs. In many countries, including the United States, dietary supplements can be legally sold to the public without any requirement to prove that they are safe, effective, or even that they contain what they claim on the label. This regulatory gap leaves consumers exposed to a wide array of risks that are rarely acknowledged in marketing campaigns or on product packaging. Most people assume that if something is on the shelf in a health store or sold online, it must have passed some kind of quality control. But this is simply not the case. In the United States, the Food and Drug Administration, FDA, classifies supplements as a category of food, not drugs. This distinction carries major implications. While prescription medications must go through extensive clinical trials and rigorous safety evaluations before they are approved, supplements do not. Manufacturers are not required to prove the safety or effectiveness of their products before they begin selling them. In fact, companies are not even required to demonstrate that their products contain the ingredients listed on the label in the amount stated. It is only after supplements are on the market, and only if a significant number of people report adverse effects, that regulatory agencies might step in. This reactive rather than proactive system means that many supplements on the market could be contaminated, adulterated, or completely ineffective. Independent laboratory testing has repeatedly found that numerous products sold as natural or herbal supplements are tainted with heavy metals like lead, mercury, and arsenic, banned pharmaceuticals, steroids, or synthetic compounds that are not listed anywhere on the label. Others contain much less of the active ingredient than advertised, or none at all. These findings are especially common in products marketed for weight loss, sexual enhancement, muscle building, or cognitive performance. The lack of standardization in formulation is another serious issue. Two bottles of the same supplement from different brands, or even from the same brand but different batches, can vary dramatically in potency and purity. That means one bottle may be relatively safe, while another could contain dangerously high doses of active compounds. The risk is even greater with supplements derived from plants because the concentration of active constituents can vary based on growing conditions, harvesting methods, and processing techniques. Without mandatory testing or quality control standards, consumers have no way of knowing what they are actually ingesting. Many countries do require that supplements not be marketed with outright false claims, but enforcement of these rules is sporadic and slow. Supplement companies frequently exploit loopholes in advertising regulations by making vague, structure/function claims such as supports immune health or promotes cognitive clarity. These claims are not required to be backed by clinical evidence, and they often mislead consumers into believing that the product has been proven effective. In reality, many of these statements are little more than marketing rhetoric designed to generate sales rather than reflect scientific consensus. Another troubling dimension of poor regulation is the lack of oversight regarding drug interactions. Supplements are widely used by people who are also taking prescription medications, often without informing their doctors. This is risky because many supplements can alter how drugs are absorbed, metabolized, or excreted by the body. For example, St. John's wort can reduce the effectiveness of antidepressants, birth control pills, and anti-HIV medications. Grapefruit extract can alter the metabolism of blood pressure drugs. But unlike with prescription medications, there is no standardized warning system or required pharmacist oversight for supplements. Consumers are left to navigate these risks on their own, often without adequate information. Children, the elderly, pregnant women, and people with chronic health conditions are particularly vulnerable. These populations often have different metabolism or reduced detoxification capacity, making them more susceptible to toxic effects from contaminated or improperly dosed supplements. Yet the same lax standards apply across all user groups. Products marketed toward these sensitive populations are rarely tested for safety in these contexts. Parents may give supplements to children under the assumption that natural equals safe, unaware of the potential developmental or neurological effects of certain herbs, minerals, or fat-soluble vitamins at high doses. Internationally, regulation varies widely. The European Union has tighter restrictions on health claims and some basic safety rules, but enforcement can still be inconsistent. In many countries across Asia, Latin America, and Africa, the supplement industry is booming with little or no government oversight at all. Online sales platforms further complicate the issue, allowing consumers to purchase supplements from overseas manufacturers that are completely unregulated, mislabeled, or falsely advertised. Even in countries with stronger consumer protection agencies, the globalized supply chain of raw ingredients makes it difficult to ensure the quality and traceability of what ends up in a capsule. Voluntary third-party certification programs exist, such as NSF International, U.S. Pharmacopeia, USP, and Consumer Lab, but only a small percentage of products on the market undergo this type of testing. Most consumers are unaware of these certifications or don't know how to identify them on a label. And while these seals of approval offer more assurance than unverified products, they still do not guarantee clinical effectiveness or long-term safety. Ultimately, the lack of regulation creates an environment in which the burden of safety falls entirely on the consumer, who is often ill-equipped to make informed decisions. This system benefits manufacturers, not users. The profits of the supplement industry are enormous, while the risks are quietly absorbed by unsuspecting individuals who believe they are making healthy choices. Until regulatory frameworks change to require evidence-based testing, accurate labeling, and proactive safety monitoring, consumers need to approach supplements with skepticism and caution. No supplement should be treated as inherently safe simply because it is sold without a prescription. The absence of regulation is not evidence of safety, it's a warning sign in itself.